The love of my life, my fiancée, she turns into the most disastrous Bridezilla, and I should not have to deal with this. I mean, it's my big day coming up, you know. So what do? I break it off. Her family's not going to forgive me, but I don't care. Miles away from mainstream California, in a small town known as Summerset, a wedding was to occur. The town was close-knit, and so gossip traveled around quick, and everybody knew everybody's business. The recent talk around town was of my wedding. Everybody envied the zealous couple. Our love story began with the two of us being classmates in the 7th grade. And that's when I actually took notice of Lily. She sat in a corner over the last rows in chemistry class, immersed in her book or doodling, only looking up when the teacher asked a question. Most of my time in class was spent observing and admiring Lily from a distance. Her beauty, it could just be compared to the soft touch of a rose petal. I was a studious kid. Often came prepared to class and did not require any extra classes or help in acing an exam. But to capture Lily's attention, I began asking doubts often in class, hoping she would take notice of me. And when that did not seem to have much effect, I redirected my doubts to her. When class was over, I would walk over to her and ask for notes or extra help in understanding concepts. When Lily spoke, her voice was that of an angel. It was that exact voice and her demeanor that only made me fall for her more. I'd asked her out to prom in junior year, where we had been prom king and queen, a perfect couple. In senior year, I introduced her to my parents, and without much surprise, Lily got along well with them, and they admired Lily for her shyness, soft-spokenness, and etiquette. Not long after, I actually met her parents, David, Emily. Emily was the first skeptic about me as a match for her daughter, but soon grew to accept it. But her father, David, was more expressive in his dislike to me. To him, I was not capable of being with his daughter, and I was not very traditional nor religious. Moreover, I did not come from a rich family. Sure, my parents worked hard to put food on the table and never let me experience issues where I would have to feel like we were poor, but we weren't the ones to visit expensive stores or restaurants, as we could not afford those things. I was working hard and was focused on my studies. I wanted to pursue a career in engineering, a well-known paying field, but in the eyes of David, I was someone from the slums, looking to trap their innocent girl into marriage for money. Due to our differences, we hung out less at her parents' house and just kept low around them. Our love for each other, it was pure, it was strong. Lily would support me and help me ace my AP exams. But because I did not have the funds for an Ivy League, I ended up going to community college and, after graduating, got a desk job in an IT office, which paid enough to sustain me, my family, and Lily. Lily got a degree in music from a private college 50 to 60 miles away. Her parents gifted her an apartment for her graduation, and I moved in with her. After saving a year's worth of extra hours money, I accumulated enough to buy Lily a diamond ring and proposed to her on our 10th anniversary. Lily was over the moon. Like all other girls, Lily had been dreaming of a princess wedding ever since she was 8, and I was determined to make her dreams come true. I worked late and saved up money, avoided nights out that I loved with my friends, and the town was excited to prepare for an upcoming fantasy wedding. My budget for a wedding was $25,000. It was a lot for a day of frivolities, but I wanted to give Lily the day of her dreams. Our guest list had 100 people, friends, relatives from both sides combined, and Lily had chosen 8 bridesmaids, including her sister, Rose, who was also her maid of honor to be on her bridal party. I had Ron as my best man. He was my best friend since high school, you know. My budget for the wedding was as followed. $2,000 for Lily's wedding dress, $2,000 for mine, $10,000 for food, catering, invitations, plus a DJ. Lily had suggested I borrowed from David to cover up the cost of a venue and a church, but I refused to do such, as he and I were still, on the outs. But David told Lily to have our wedding in their garden in a villa they owned. I obliged, as I did not know or see why I would acquire the money for a venue. The stress of the wedding planning was starting to get to Lily, and a change was apparent in her. It started with an altercation at the bridal shop, and when Lily was selecting her wedding dress, my mother, her mother, and her bridal party had accompanied her. According to my mom, Lily had gone through 10 dresses until she got annoyed and just demanded they show her a better dress, albeit the price. She ends up choosing a $5,000 dress along with $1,000 dresses each for her bridal party. When she gets back to me later, we get into this fight about her high and unaffordable dress choice. She retaliated by saying it was her day, and she would do as she pleases. I put it to pre-wedding stress. It just got worse with time, though. I'd never seen this side of Lily. She woke up one morning and berated me on increasing the cost for the wedding. She'd ordered expensive decor and canceled the DJ to book a whole band to perform. She introduced vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and vegan options for food menu. Lily knew better that we would never be able to afford it all. If we did, it would put us years in credit card debt and whatnot. I sent Lily out for the weekend to relax and de-stress with her bridal party. I asked them to throw her an early bachelorette party. Maybe that would calm her down and perhaps relax her mind. The girls got together and threw her the best bachelorette party that could be planned in a day. They'd ordered her favorite food, drinks, booked an Airbnb with a pool and a fireplace, even hired a singer for the event. I got to know what all had occurred on that day through Rose. She deemed it fair I knew of the events that happened. You see, the girls arrived at the Airbnb in a van with all the supplies and food. As they were unloading all the food from the van, Lily stopped off to her room and would not come out for 2 to 3 hours. She screamed through the door that I had forced her into this, and she did not want this right now. Others let her be, and eventually Lily came out only when the singer showed up. The girls let her outburst go and focused on all of them having a good time. After what seemed like, 10 glasses of wine, Lily had started to open up about our relationship in the wedding. She said that a wedding was all she had been dreaming of ever since she was together with me, and she was sad and hurt, mostly angry that I was cheaping out and what is the most important event of our lives. She wanted this extravagant wedding, complete with fireworks, a 4 to 5 layered wedding cake, and to top that, she even mentioned that she only settled for the $5,000 dress due to my mother asking her to keep within the budget. The dress that she had in mind cost at least $10,000. That was almost all of our budget for the wedding, She wanted to go all out and was exasperated that I would not afford it. In a fit of anger, while complaining about me in drunken state, I guess you could say, Lily smashed the fireplace and broke a few plates and glasses before she retired to bed. One of the bridesmaids had to pay for the charges for the destruction of property and did so to avoid any additional ruckus on top of what was happening. There was chatter among the group about dropping out of the bridal party if Lily continued to behave this way. I could not believe what I was hearing. Was this really Lily? What happened to the charming, understanding, and loving woman I knew her to be? I planned to sit her down and gently ask her what the matter was and why she was behaving in such a way, and if it was bothering her so much, we could postpone the wedding to a few months or years later until I could save up for a better funded wedding. When she arrived from the party, I sat her down and asked her what she wants and what was it that was bothering her. She broke down and told me that she just wants this picture-perfect, extravagant wedding, and I told her we could make it happen if she's willing to be patient. Lily dried her tears at that and asked me to not cancel the wedding. She's okay with my plan on how the wedding goes. I was relieved that she finally saw things from my point of view, and so the wedding planning went on as originally planned. I invited my parents over to discuss just some events of the wedding and so that they could help Lily with the wedding that she needs, so it takes the stress off her shoulders. But what occurred changed not only my mind about the wedding, but also about being with Lily. You see, my parents came over and my mother starts discussing about some traditional stuff with Lily, such as her something new, her something blue. Lily said that she does not want that in her wedding. My mother seemed hesitant at first, but it seemed like not to be such a big deal. She let it go. She asked Lily about her bridal veil, and Lily laughed, said she's not wearing one. She also said that she won't be wearing the traditional white wedding dress, but instead she was thinking about wearing a black one or a colorful one. My mother felt she was being disrespectful and got up and left along with my father. She told me that she's happy to just attend the wedding, but she won't go out of her way to be disrespected by my fiancé. I was hurt and angry at Lily. She knew better than to do that, and I thought she was just, reached an agreement with me, but apparently not. Lily starts screaming at me, belittling me and my family, and she says our standards are way below hers, and we can never afford a woman like her. We broke into a huge fight, and I just asked her to leave and spend the night elsewhere, as I need time away from her to think. She left to stay with her parents. The next day, I get a call from her father, screaming at me for what I've done, for asking his daughter to leave her place and spend the night elsewhere. Before I could fathom the response, he cut the call. Over the next few days, I tried to reconcile with Lily, tried to get in touch with her to sort things out. I asked Rose to set a meeting with her, but Lily simply would not show up. Eventually, I ended up outside her house, but her father would not let me inside the home. It's as if they did not want this resolved. I was a mess. I'd always known Lily to be sweet, understanding, warm-hearted, but as the pressure of the wedding planning mounted, she gradually transformed into a Bridezilla. The woman I had once loved unconditionally became unrecognizable. Seeing this transformation, I felt betrayed. I grappled with my feelings, and eventually, after several failed attempts to reason with Lily, I decided to end the relationship. Unable to reconcile with the woman that she'd become, the least she owed me was an explanation or a chance to talk things out, but I wasn't even getting that. Although painful, I called the wedding off, and with that, my engagement to Lily. I emailed her, saying that I loved her and I'm sorry for what happened and I wished her well. The email was an emotional one where I poured all my emotions of sadness, anger, remorse, etc., hoping to get rid of them that way. With that, Lily and I were no longer a couple. It broke my heart to do so. Lily was a childhood romance and I thought it would last forever. This turn of events gave everybody in town something to gossip about. Speculations were made as to what caused this sudden, drastic drift. I grieve for the lost relationship, but now all I have left is to just move on with my life. Lily had gone from the sweet girl I knew to an unhinged woman who wanted her way and would not accept anything less. I hope that Lily recognizes her fault and changes. If not for the sake of our relationship, then for her happiness. After all, that's what matters in the end. And this breakup would give everyone from Lily, terrorize some mental peace. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're enjoying your day. What a Bridezilla we're messing with. Well, update number 1's coming out, and Lily has a lot to talk about. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, take a second. Hit that subscribe button. It does help support me a lot, and I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Here's update number 1. Well, it's been weeks since I ended things with Lily. I planned to switch towns and started applying for jobs elsewhere, hoping to get a better pay. But my parents were rooted to this town. Moving for them would mean a brand new start all over in the new environment, with people they barely know. My parents did not want to go through with that, and I respected their wishes to not do so. I tried to land a remote job instead, and focused on just acquiring new skills and upscale my resume. I'd cut Lily off and her family completely. as holding on to her would mean me just never giving up on her, and in the process, I'd end up getting hurt while Lily just walked away without a scratch. Rose would text once in a while to ask how I'm doing. It seemed she was the only person in that family who did care for me. One fine summer afternoon, I was about my usual routine, taking a class and working on a project, and then a knock on the door. It startled me, and I jumped off the sofa that I was laying on. I went to open the door, and to my surprise, guess who was standing there? Right there in front of me was Lily, standing at the doorway wearing a pretty dress with a bouquet of flowers in her hand. I stood there in shock for what seemed like minutes before I asked her to come in. Lily noticed my parents weren't home and said that she had something to talk to me about, and it was very important. Holding my hand, she said that she was sorry for all that happened, how she behaved, and asked me to take her back. I was shocked out of my mind, to say the least. Here was Lily, a woman that I loved with all my heart, who messed up things over superficial stuff that did not even matter, who was now asking me to take her back. A woman I'd spent weeks getting over. A process that was easier said than done, and I knew what I had to say, but instead, I just stood there dumbfounded. When words finally found me, I told her that I no longer want to get back with her. I'd moved on, and so should she. I felt a change in the look on Lily's face. It seemed as if she had thought I would take her back and things would go back to how they were, normal. Well, I wish that would happen too, but I can't just move past seeing the true side to Lily. Without so much as another word, Lily threw the bouquet across the room and walked out the door, slamming it as she went, and I looked at it in silence that followed and saddened to see how much Lily had changed. I eventually went on about my day, as I did not want to overthink and complicate things. In the following week, my parents reached out to me saying that Lily's parents had reached out to them, and that they had been threatening them, saying that I should get back with Lily or things would end up, bad for me or my family. It went from baseless threats to emotional manipulation. Her mother would call me crying, saying that I should get back with Lily or she might do something to herself. Yeah, and if she does, it's going to be on me. David would call and intimidate my family, threatening them with the power of money, saying if they wanted to get anything done, all they had to do was say so, and it would be a matter of time. They even went to lengths to bribe me and my family to take Lily back. The threats and blackmail did not make a dent or my family, and I had nothing to fear. Update number 2. Lily's parents had spread gossip that I was the one who broke Lily's heart by trapping her in a relationship and not fulfilling her wishes. Some of the gossip even went as far as to say I was an abusive partner who used Lily because she was a kind, warm-hearted, innocent person who fell into my trap. I was appalled. This was the person I've known all my life, who now refused to stand up for me, all because I would not take her back. How could I, with all that happened? I don't want to be with, much less marry such a person. I'm surprised to say that at the moment I'm writing this, I fear for my life and my parents. Lily's parents went out their way to threaten me that they may have hired somebody to stalk us from afar, only to put us in a state of mental distress. The townspeople and police were too scared to even interfere with David, as he was pretty rich and, pretty powerful. I think all those good memories I had with her, those days spent in class, getting to know her, in the playground learning things about her standing up to her parents for me, those days were good. The days that we spent at home. She went from being an angel to a bridezilla, and somebody I did not want to be associated with. I often reminisce about the good old days and wonder where it all went wrong. Maybe all of this would not have happened if I somehow found a way to pay for the wedding Lily wanted. It seems the only people in agreement with me were my parents and the people on the bridal party. They had first-hand experience of Lily's behavior and actions and stood by me. agreeing that Lily had truly lost her marbles. But like me, they too were afraid to say anything lest they faced wrath of David. I'd considered making the move out of town with my parents, but was scared David would find a way to hurt my parents and haunt me forever. And so I stayed put, tolerating the emotional, mental abuse of David and Emily. They would often turn up at our door along with Lily just to physically intimidate us and threaten us. All this for a wedding not done. Out of everyone in her family, David was the person I was scared of the most, as I'd imagined he would leave no stone unturned or would not think twice about going to levels just to blackmail me. It's been a constant cycle of fear and paranoia, which keeps me awake most nights. I've moved my parents to my apartment so that I can keep a close eye on them. Knowing that my parents are okay put me at ease. I wonder why Lily did not just drop the idea of being with me and get together with someone else instead. It would have solved all the drama and we would all go on about our lives. I've heard from people who kept in touch with her that she's completely shut down. The breakup has affected her in more ways than it's affected me. It would not take a genius to figure out that Lily had unresolved mental health issues, which should be embarked upon by a professional, not her father. David seemed to think that maybe getting back together with me would bring Lucy out of her trance and just back to being the person that she was. I was not determined to make that happen, as the once pure innocent soul that I had for Lily was now nowhere to be found, and I hope one day her family realizes that and just lets us be. The bridal party had tried ways to console Lily just to give up on the idea of us being together. Rose even went as far as to say that I've moved out of town and was willing to help make that impossible. I had a looming decision over my head, and it was mine and only mine to make. I'm unsure whether to just take Lily back and end this drama, and my parents would too be safe, but I would have a bad relationship as I did not want her as my partner anymore. Or whether I should stand by my decision to not take her back and let me and my family continue being harassed by her family. It's a predicament like the weighing scales, where one side is family peace and safety, as well as my own, and the other side's weighed down by my unwavering decision to not marry Lily. I just wish there was a way I could start over. Maybe make better choices that would not lead up to this situation. I wonder where we would have ended up have I not kicked Lily out to stay at her parents' and instead resolved things with her right then and there. It's something I will always keep wondering about until the day a decision has to be made about what side I'm choosing. Whatever side I choose hopefully ends up with a happy ending, rather than a tough and messed up one as this. So guys, you know how much I hate leaving y'all on a cliffhanger. Well, unfortunately, that story kind of ended on a cliffhanger. There's no more updates. I looked left and right. I looked in the comment sections. I looked from the profile of the original poster. Nothing. Guys, don't worry. Stay with me. Stick with me. I will update as soon as that update is available, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. I hope you did enjoy the story, though. It was one heck of a ride. Drop your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Thank you for joining me, guys. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see ya.